Welcome back to Europe League. We're just about to get stuck into our second game of the day. That is Fnatic versus Secret. I'm here at Freshman. We're going to talk about these two teams. And we're going to start about Fnatic, because if they let Secret get away with the 3 points today, they can no longer overtake Secret. And seeing what has happened with the recent history with Fnatic so far, there's been a few questionable things, so to say.
Yeah, they've been very much up and down. Like, very much up and down. Sometimes we see them and they play really, really well, and they look like a team that play coordinated and they play together. Then sometimes we see them as a team that just do things on their own completely, and it makes absolutely no sense. So it's very much, will we get a good Fnatic today? Or will we get a bottom rating on my power scoreboard, whatever you call it? That sort of Fnatic today either. Like, we don't know. Well, we're going to be seeing in a minute.
Yeah, I think they've been a little bit head-scratching. In fact, I've been asking the question. FNC, what the...
Say the word, Jack. I love that word.
What the fresh is going on
what I
with this team?
It was not what I would imagine.
I mean, look, they've looked good, but they've also looked bad. So I've got 4 clips I want to show you. Now, the quick clips, so stay with me on these. So we'll roll the very first clip. Play day 1, going up against G2. 5v5 scenario, 20 seconds left on the clock. The clock up there isn't right. Leon goes running up main stairs. Why? Who knows? They lose the round, they lose the game because G2 play out the 5 versus 4. Go into the next game against Wolves. They've got a minute left. They're in a 2v5. Leon's doing vert onto the site. What's Jigs doing? He's over in admin office trying to find a kill. This desync is moments of confusion. And I've said it a few times about Fnatic. I've been pulling my hair out. It's moments like this that cause you to pull your hair out because what is going on? Third clip against Dents. Leon's full sprinting through kitchen on a basement attack. Doesn't know that there's players there. That place hasn't been droned. This one is perhaps the most criminal of them all. The last game, Monty, top black stairs. The player on black stairs is relying on the T player, you see him at the top of your screen there, to hold his position so he doesn't dice the Monty. What happens? T player runs away. Monty pushes the black stairs, should have been a freebie. Instead, the player on the black stairs, Deepak, there is a freebie. Now, this is what I'm saying where I'm just pulling out my hair, and when those rounds are going on, I'm just going, what the is going on with this team?
I'll say it for you. What the fuck are they doing? It's very simple. They're missing out on some of the most basic things. Like, these things don't disappear just because you're changing teams or you're making a new team with new players. These things don't disappear. These are basics for team play, and they need to be there. Then some of them are obviously individual decisions, like Leon pushing up the stairs. But it seems to me that they are not in control of themselves during these rounds, which also leads to them not being in control of the rounds themselves. That kitchen clip. Why have we not drawn kitchen? No matter what bomb site you're attacking on that map, kitchen is a key vital point of all of them. Why is it not drone? So it's very much basics.
It's just small mistakes. They fixed those mistakes in those rounds. They actually would have accumulated more points. It's as simple as that, because those were close games. If they fix those mistakes, they're well in the running to be in a top team and go to the major, because there's a lot of opportunity in EU League so far.
I do agree with the kind of unpredictable from Fnatic. I've given up on predicting for them because you'd expect them, for example, to beat a team like Wolves or Wild. They go and lose to them, but then they also bring G2 to overtime. They beat into the breach.
Yep.
It's been a bit all over the place. And to be fair, they have a pretty difficult opponent to go up against at the moment, because Secret sitting comfortably in second despite having those 2 losses last week with a very close game against BDS.
Yeah. Oh, you go ahead.
Oh.
It's your team.
It's my team. Okay,
I give it to
Secret's
you.
my team.
Yeah, you
it's
love
the only
it.
jersey
Yeah,
in
that's
EU League I don't have, actually, so
wow.
maybe it's not my team.
Chip one to him.
Yeah, I know. One thing that I do like about Team Secret is that they have improved significantly. They've obviously signed some great players, and we can talk about the players that they've signed all day long. What's impressed me has actually been the strategical depth, the counter strategy, the map pool, the composure between the players in this team to overcome some adversity, even when they lost last week against BDS, all the way to overtime. It was a close game with G2, realistically, that they should have won. So if you're Team Secret, you're actually thinking of yourselves right now as the top 2, top 3 team in this league.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And they should be proud of that, because the players they picked up, again, we can talk about it forever, right? Adrian is one of the most up-and-coming, like, complete rookies. Then we have Doom, who I know and have looked at for a very long time as one of those up-and-coming players. He's been going a little bit slower, a little bit more like jump into heroic, and had a little bit of a rough time with them, and taking a step up now. They have so many talented players, so many good players, and it's just beautiful to watch them play because they're looking like a team.
currently watching the players, of course, getting ready for their game. We just saw Adrian as well, who you two talked about already. It's not often that you see a support player having the highest rating of everyone in the league. So that's really exciting for him. But talking about a map for this specific matchup. Now, the only map we haven't seen yet in Europe League is Nighthaven Labs, and we were so close to seeing a Nighthaven Labs, but it's going to Clubhouse.
Yeah, Twitter's going to be getting a DM from me as soon as we're off this desk, because I want to see a Labs. It's the only map we've not seen.
Yeah.
Clubhouse, however, actually, I think for both teams makes a lot of sense. Secret, we saw them there twice. The first 2 play days of the season, what actually impressed me was play day 1 against Ents. They came out of the box, they dominated Ents. Play day 2 against VP, the day after, played Clubhouse, completely different strats. So Secret love this map. For Fnatic, it's a high preference map that they've not yet shown this stage.
And all of the stuff we saw from Secret against Virtus.pro was kind of a lot of counters and just playing into Virtus.pro's playstyle. How the hell would they know against Fnatic? Because first of all, Fnatic needs to show which team they are of the day.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you haven't seen the map before. So there cannot be any counters. Now it's back to basics for Secret. We put those challenges onto them. They've proven time and time again they can clear those. Now it's another one.
Well, game's ready, so it's time to bring back our casters. We welcome back Ace and Dez, of course. Guys, how excited are you feeling for this matchup?
Pretty excited for this one, to be fair. I think we've just had a Clubhouse that was a bit of a speed run, is probably the best way to put it. So I think seeing the anti being up to it by Secret will be quite good fun. So we'll see. I'll just hope Fnatic are competitive. Otherwise, it's going to feel like a repeat.
I'm feeling like there could be a Fnatic resurgence. I'm kind of excited for it. They've got a performance in there somewhere, and I think it might be today. We'll see.
We got some hope, maybe some copium for Fnatic here, but at least we're getting some more rounds on Clubhouse, and I'm very excited for that. Please take us away for Fnatic and Team Secret.
Thank you very much, Anne. It's one of them where I'm looking at this one, and I know we were talking about Secret being Fresh's team. He was in rehearsal the whole time in a Fnatic jersey.
He was.
Let's not tell anyone about that one, shall we?
Don't mention it.
It's all rubbish for the desk. That's the only way I can think about it.
Right then, here we go. We're going to be heading on to Clubhouse once again. We've just seen a little bit of a washout. Whether it's going to be a sort of longer, harder fought game this time around, we will see. Fnatic really need to start turning up. We know that I feel like, I know the roster isn't the same. There's been plenty of changes now, but I look back through Koi, I look back through Rogue. I think about the last 12, 18 months of European play days, and I just feel like we're going through the same patterns with this team, a team that will turn up and have a couple of bad games and look terrible, and then have a couple of great ones, and they just never seem to have that consistency.
That's exactly the problem, right? I think we all look back to the days of the Berlin Major and just wish that we saw that team coming back to the light again. And I remember quite famously, they ran around that event saying, we aren't scrimming here, it's all about the mentality, and they really got into their zone. Now, I'm not at all saying they should retire the scrim schedule, absolutely not. But the sort of things that Fresh went through about the mistakes they're making, those are things that we called out when we last cast them a couple of weeks ago. And so I'm looking today and just thinking, boys, we're well into the stage by now. You've only really got 2 or 3 more chances to make a good swing of this. They started out playing well, but not quite getting the results, and it feels like they've reverted, they've stepped back, and things have looked rougher than ever, arguably, over the last couple of weeks. So I'm hoping to see a different Fnatic, but coming up against Secret, I tell you what, I would not fancy being a team playing against Secret when we're not quite playing at our best, because they are the current team, as we've already said, that are blowing away expectations. They are right near the top of the table, ahead of some very well-known names, and this is the team to beat, I think. I just don't see it happening, being honest with you, though, Tim.
No, and I mean, it goes to show, when BDS are playing as well as they are, that Adrian is still, I think, top in 4 different categories, I think it is at the minute. In terms of EU League, he's top rated. Cost, clutches, plants, all Adrian up there at the top at the minute. The plants will need a review. But yeah, seriously topping the charts at the minute is the takeaway from that. And the question for Fnatic is, how are they going to stop him? Because nobody else has been able to so far.
It tells you a lot when Adrian's plants are more than double the entirety of Fnatic combined. That really sets the image as to just how stark this contrast may well prove to be. But let's get ourselves underway, though, with round 1. Fnatic are starting on the defensive side, and Admittedly, again, what I want to see is some of this roam game. We spoke about this on the last map. Wild a little bit scared at points. Sat back, turtling in, giving the entire map over to ITB. At least here from Fnatic, we are seeing them get out in the map here, roaming up on this top floor with a couple of players. However, the pressure is coming in thick and fast. Tim, we're barely 10 seconds into the round, and Jigsaw's already been shot at by 2 separate players.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good strategy from Team Secret here. You know, Fnatic are on the ropes a little bit given the last couple of performances. So shall we just take the fight straight to them, let them know they're in a game immediately? I think, yeah, you know, just have a look, make sure they're not on any windows, get yourself into the map quickly. Just really put them under pressure, give them a stress test to kick things off.
I agree with it. It's that mentality game as well. You know, I look back against that previous map when Wild did start getting a little bit cheeky about it. Immediately, we just saw the pressure building up. But Fnatic, to give them full credit, Tim, they've wasted a bit of time. They've drawn out some utility, the exothermic being committed, for example, a few drones being thrown in, and they've backed away. Every single player down to sight and alive, and can now start off in this second phase, when I imagine, at least for some time here, you'll see Secret still trying to drone every corner of the map, make sure there's no one trying to be a rat, and also sniffing out things like these Valkyrie cameras.
Yep, doing the work. Groovy just going to be, there you go, taking out that last bit of utility, free up those drones again, and they will now, no doubt, continue on as we get towards the mid-round. A couple will be sent down towards site, see exactly what's going on, get the flank drones set up, make sure you're not going to get hit at by anybody on a defensive rotate, and then start getting those hatches, getting the pressure mounting onto site. Fnatic actually not done terribly. They've only lost that initial bit of health onto Jigsaw. They've got all 5 left alive, back down on site now, ticking down to 1:15. So if they can again, you know, I'm looking at, they've got impact nades, they've got 6 of them on side. They should be able to prevent the kitchen hatch for a little while, just burn as much time as possible here.
Big ol' should on that front, Tim. We all know how chaotic things can get as we get towards the close. Tyrant so far, slipping the net. Right sort of idea that this player on lounge, I think it's Groovy on the other side of him here, has the right idea. Ready and waiting. And it's just like a bit of a Mexican standoff, just waiting to see what comes through next. But neither side making the first move. Tyrant giving himself away a little bit there. Now Imagine wants to try and rejoin his team as best he can. Drops back down through, and he's going to be safe. Maybe wants a bit of an assist coming down through blue. So I was going to say, Groovy will move across here and give him a little bit of pressure. And sure enough, there it is. Almost finds 2 for his trouble as well.
I think that's absolutely fine from Tyrant there. He's just burnt another 20-25 seconds out, and now Secret are going to be forced into one of these sort of last gasp executes, and the kills start coming into match. 1 for everybody almost on the side of Fnatic. Flawless round. Great finish from them. They took that bit of early damage onto Jigsaw, but other than that, they wasted about a minute 15 before we had Secret confidently inside the building. And then, like I said, I like the play from Tyrant inside a garage. Didn't overcommit to it, but again, took about another 20-25 seconds away from Grubby, who had to just keep watching that angle, because otherwise they'd have lost 1 or 2 in blue. That much is for sure. Just really well done. They a little bit of luck there as Tyrant goes back towards site. If that's a headshot, poof, you've just lost your man. But still, really well played. I like that from Fnatic.
Each can be a game of fine margins. Imagine if Jigsaw gets headshot on the construction pre-fire, and if Tyrant dies in garage, suddenly it's a 5v3. It's a very different conversation on site. But I'm with you. You can't really ask for much better round than that as the defenders. I think they've played into perfection with the extra 1.5, 2 minutes being wasted on the roam. Tyrant causing a little bit of bother inside a garage. It really was the way to roam. Goes to show it's not always about the kills. Sometimes it's about time, as it sets the rest of you up for a very good end of round execute. So a strong start then, but now we've got to rotate our way through these top floor sites, Tim. And as we always say, that downstairs tends to be one of the easiest sites to defend on this map. These top floors are where you're really going to see Fnatic tested, because it's not just about a roam game here, it's about an extended hold. They're going out towards Cash and CC. They've got reinforcements down. Normally you'll see shields go down, but Jegs has still got his in back pocket, at least for now. So really what we're going to have to see Secret do is get that control of the east side of the map first, and then work their way across. And teams that are really good at attacking into this side of the map are also very good at punishing those that overstay in Cash CC too long. So it's going to be a test for the defenders here on how long they overstay their welcome.
Drones will continue on through for Secret as Savage makes his way up. There you go. Pay attention to the frost mats. They are easily missed, especially when you... I know all about that. I'm a nightmare for going. I'm a magnet for frost mats, but especially when you're going up somewhere like Catwalk, you're going to be watching out towards Cash. They've got those holes open at the bottom and you're thinking, I don't want to get challenged from there. So it is easy to miss them, but good progress so far from Secret. They've got themselves into CCTV. They're going to start opening that Cash wall. That's going to force the defenders back even further. Fnatic at the minute still quite aggressively holding on to this up here, with Tyrant playing those keeper barricades to keep himself in position.
They've tried their best to impact trick the hell out of this as well, but haven't quite got away with it. But at this point, he will now be forced to move away. Leon finds one straight into a trade. Adrian to a second, the top red as well. And this is what I mean, Tim. There is a such thing as overstaying your welcome. And so far, they've been made to pay the price, losing themselves 2 players out on the roam. Half the round gone, make it a third as Miracle hits the cross shot there. Wasn't the man on the screen, Adrian, getting that kill. But suddenly, things look very, very ropey for the side of Fnatic. Half the round to play, and they're in a 2 versus 4.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Des. We saw Tyrant on the Azami really trying everything to keep in there. When that wall is breached into Cash, you gotta go. I know you don't want to give so much time over to Secret, but you've got to waste it elsewhere. Adrian's going to get in. He's going to be planting again. You know, just looking for more and more of those. He's likely to stick it. Nitro goes out. Not going to catch its man. Diffuser is successful. And Deepak all to do now. He's fighting from underneath, but as soon as he comes up these stairs, you know it's going to be watched.
One got him dead, no doubt, in a second from Logi, but equally 3 different angles watching onto him here as well. Dead to rights to Savage, and a very good round coming out from Secret. And it was tough, to be fair. The Azami had really dug herself inside of Cash, and once Adrian had got top red, once they had control of the doorway between sites, there was just no getting out of there. He really had to play his life, but sadly that life didn't last all that long. 2 players dead on the extended hold, and they paid the price. And this is what I meant about overstaying that welcome. It is hard to get away. There are so many ways that you can get cut off when trying to rotate back towards site, whether it's from construction window or the single VIP wall. So opted to play their life, but just ultimately couldn't get it done in the numbers reduced situation. Secret looking strong though, and this is what I said to him. I want to see how these top floor sides go. I imagine now we'll see Cash and CC rather than a repeat. Yes, we will. I wonder if Deepak has taken inspiration from our friends over in the Japan League, Tim.
For those who didn't see,
the flames we
for those who didn't see, yeah, we had the Doc. We actually had it tried with Doc stimming somebody else. We had it with Doc stimming a Wamai to try and just survive through the Capitano fire. It wasn't successful. It was successful, however, when it was switched around and the Doc just stimmed himself. So it is possible to outlast the Capitano fire arrows by just stimming yourself up every time you get down to the point of death. So it may well be, yeah, with the ACOG potentially on site as well for Deepak, that it's going to be the perfect operator to hold on to Garage Catwalk. Might be something we see a bit more of.
I hope so. It's always very, very fun to see people just standing there tanking the whole thing. The only problem is really, of course, you can't be guns up that whole time you are there with the stim in hand. So if you are going to get pushed off the back of it, you could be in real hot water. So you've got to be very careful and very respectful that teams may well start figuring ways around that thing now that we've seen it done a few times over. Leon, I was about to say, was playing a very risky game, and he would have been straight into another fresh clip off the back of that one if he'd lost his life so soon into the round. Was playing a bit of a risky game, but equally you could say the same about the side of Secret here as well, because now that Fnatic are aware, they've got 2 or 3 players that can have a good angle on towards this hole that's been opened up.
Yeah, one of the oldest angles in the book is that one. Get somebody on the rappel as you open up the Maverick line across the bottom and have a look into red. Jegs is going to take down Doom. That's a good opener then for Fnatic. They need to hold on to one of these top floor sites. Nitro goes off. Going to do significant damage to Miracle as well. He's really low at this point. So 5 versus 4, and like I said, Fnatic need to hold one of these top 2 sites. It doesn't matter which it is really, if they can lock down Church and Arsenal as well. But Savage, he finds Jegs, levels things up at 4 versus 4.
Yeah, so we'll be careful of here as well as running into these lines of sight that are now being held. Secret have been in position for a while and will have several of them held down. You're going to go sprinting around the map, you're going to find yourself caught out, as we just saw, of course, Jegs discover with the wrong cross coming through out towards the north side of the map. Savage has got himself underneath here as well. They know about the man above, and this is where Adrian, you'd say, will come online, but with no fire left on side, it's all about the smokes. You can't shoot back if you can't see us, also a pretty viable strategy. However, you can see the shadow, Tim.
Yeah, that's it, and you can play off that, and it shows smart game sense there, just playing off the shadow, getting the kill, and Fnatic can kind of continue like this. It's 3 versus 3, so long as they're getting that first kill each time and giving themselves the opportunity to stay in the fights, then they're actually fine. Leon is going to find an absolute beauty onto Savage. Manages to cut down the Lion with a headshot, and that gives a real power position to Fnatic here as Leon doubles down, finds Miracle as well, has the ability to just sit underneath and burn time here.
And there it is, finds the third as well. Much better stuff coming out from Fnatic, Leon especially. A big 3K in the round, but I also want to give some praise towards Secret on that. I actually thought the way they were trying to pinch onto Leon in the first case was brilliant. Yeah, had 3 players all trying to work in towards him to see him shut down and out of the round there. He just managed to bob and weave his way through while collecting kills, get himself locked up inside a stock. And while you saw the outcome, they managed to get the round win on the board. So good stuff. We've seen success being shown here, Tim, across those different sites. So a good mix to come through. Fnatic will come out of this half, I'd say, in pretty good form. And then it's all about the second, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been, I think each round that has been won, I won't say it's quite been sort of one-sided, but the rounds that have been won, whoever's won them has won them pretty emphatically. You know, we've had at least 3 players remaining on the winning team each time. This time, Fnatic had 3 on the board. Last time around, Secret had 4. It was flawless for Fnatic in round 1. So it's very much been sort of one of those rubber band games, one extreme to the other for teams winning and losing rounds. But Fnatic, they are now able to go back downstairs. It's going to be a repeat of the site that we saw in round 1, which they won confidently. They managed to burn a lot of time. Tyrant able to get back onto the flank inside a garage and continue to burn those seconds away. So Team Secret, I think, really need to focus here on getting that map control, but also preventing anything like that. You know, there's no claymores on side, there's no air jabs on side, there's nothing. So again, I'm thinking, can you deal with the top of oil pit? Can you prevent that from happening? Can you prevent Fnatic being slippy in a way that's going to just burn those seconds away?
Savage on this Monty, and we've got June coming along as well. I don't think it's going to be a big shield rush like we saw over... Was it in Japan we saw it the other day? With Blitz was fanned away, like, yeah, we're safe, we're not getting rushed because there's no Blitz. And then the team brings along both Monty and the Fuse with shields and just runs them down. It was unbelievable. But here I'd imagine it's much more about the Fuse being brought along for the space that he creates when making use of that gadget. Drop that, for example, inside a kitchen or inside of the hallway, and anyone playing underneath it is dead to rights. Very good at denying away impact tricks, and given that we've seen Fnatic try and make that play happen already, yeah, why not try and do so again? They've got 4 impacts in back pocket. A well-placed Fuse gadget will at least see that done away with.
Secret once again showing a good attention to detail, not getting too carried away, but I think they are, you know, definitely aware of the time this time around. They don't want to find themselves in that tough spot late in the round again. So they are moving pretty well. We're a minute 20 into the round. Hatches have been opened. Pressure is going to be applied into Dirt Tunnel. Needs to be careful there, getting through the rotate. Make sure that those feet weren't being shown. Nitro goes out, not going to do the job. Finds about half of the health from Savage, but having no joy getting into Dirt Tunnel at the minute, trying to take the bite with the pistol, but it's a risky one, Des.
I was about to say, when you've got a Kaid like stepping away and cowering away from a Monty pistol that's being wielded in ADS to charge in through dirt, it tells you a whole story about how fearful you have to be as shield players at the best of times. But a pistol is not normally the thing to be too fearful of. Now that Monty, it's like a horror game, Tim. It's coming forward at some pace here as well. Jay's going to find Adrian that was following in behind, I believe, as well. So now they can re-push here on towards this Monty as long as no one's outside, which they aren't. And they've blocked him in, Tim. We've seen this on Skyscraper. Beautiful little bit of play. Jake's into a second and Savage falls.
Yeah, really, really well played. It's becoming much more commonplace now. If you're maybe a little Azami main at home in rank, just always consider that if you've got the Monty there, can you block them in? Can you prevent, you know, Monty's really thrive on having support with them, and as soon as it stops, there's not much that they can do. Leon's going to find a 2-piece at the end of the round to close it out, and it's another confident win for Fnatic down in the basement. They are looking much, much better. Whatever work has been done since the last play day, Des, it's really showing some dividends here.
And it's the fact they're collecting every single entry so far as well. It's, yeah, one like Fresh spoke about, the mistakes you'd often see coming on through. Players dropping down seemingly for free and just being caught out was a little bit like bit of a head scratcher. Whereas here, it's more on the other side. They're the ones getting the kills back in reverse very early in the round and not giving Secret too much room to execute as a full 5. It's one thing I speak about a lot. When a team is very good at attacking, when they're very good at the execute side of things, if they get towards site with all 5 on side, you are toast. You're absolutely going to be dead. So you have to get out around the map and look to try and contest quite early on. That's what we've seen Secret, so what Fnatic have been doing overall so far. And I think Secret are just kind of struggling to deal with the aggression coming out. Like when a Kaid is literally posted at the entryway in towards dirt, C4 in hand, that tells you a whole lot. When they commit an Azami to it as well, damn, it's just really good read into the game situation, I think, so far from Fnatic, and a very deserved 3-1 that they're currently set at.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think they need to definitely keep it rolling. I'm not saying that, you know, they need a 5-1 half to be able to get a win here, but I'm expecting Secret to really come back at them on their defensive half. So, yeah, I think they need to give themselves as much as they can. But looking on a broader scale, the way that they are playing so far has been really good. Like I said, I praised Tyrant in the first round. The way that Deepak and Jegs dealt with the Monty there inside of dirt. Jegs particularly knowing that Deepak needed that backup because there was support pushing down with Monty. As soon as Jegs gets that kill, you see the Monty start backing up, wants absolutely no part of Dirt Tunnel anymore. So again, just really good from Fnatic, recognizing that, you know, this is a critical part of the push that's coming against us. If we back off, if we give them this ground, we potentially lose the round. So yeah, really, really well done from Fnatic. Much, much better.
And I do have to heap some praise, especially on Leon here, I feel, as well, because I've criticised him a lot historically for being, although he's the IGL and normally in a more supportive position, he is one of the most aggressive entry players I've ever seen. And there's always that question of like, well, is it a good thing? And, you know, people who are like very pro Leon might turn around and argue, well, if he's dead, he can IGL better and whatever else. Or, you know, he's feeling confident, he's feeling himself, all the rest of it. He's in the front line, he can call around that. Cool, but no one else really tends to do that in the game is always the thing I've been worried about. And this game, the thing really worth noting, outside of the Bandit round going nutty aggressive, he has been sat on site. You know, both basement sites. He's played on the Glow and the Maestro so far. Very passive, very sat back, but he has really been able to shine in the mid to late round when things, you get the occasional straggler player that comes in towards site after your entries have done the job around the map. He is looking much more composed in that sense, and I think it's doing his team a world of good.
Maverick going to be working. We saw the attempt at the Nitro previously. Deepak just keeping hold of it until it's a soft wall this time. Actually going to do the attacker's job for them. They're not going to have to bring the soft breach along because the Nitro is going to do the job. Nobody's still close enough to have any impact. We also see that there's a Goyo canister been popped as well. I can only imagine that that has happened by the attacker's hands, not the defenders. I don't think they're in a position where they would have been so desperate to slow anything down just yet, but I could be wrong.
So far, down goes Deepak as well. June's found him a second coming in for Secret here in pretty rapid time. And Gruby's like, I want some of the action. At least managed to find themselves 3 kills elsewhere. Shot in the back as well on the march on through. And now Leon, I sang your praises, my man. But can you clutch down a 1v3? Gets it down onto 1, but it's still got 2 more. Leon into a second, but no. The close comes on through. Secret get their round. It's another one of those explosive all-in Tims, and Fnatic almost held off. But Secret, after that tack time out, they bounce back.
I think there was probably a few slightly worried Secret fans sat there with the way that Leon's playing at the minute, finding those first 2 out of the 1v3 to bring it to a 1v1, but the timing was just really good from those last 2. That's what you've got to do. If you're in a 2v1, push at the same time, create a situation where the last player can't possibly get both kills, and that's exactly what they managed to do. So well played Secret, like you say, a little bit of a bounce back, but I'll put an asterisk on it. Let's remember, they also won Gym and Bedroom back in round 2, so that's the site they've already been successful on. They've now got to go to Cash and CCTV where Fnatic won last time around, and they've got to try and get the win there, and that was not an easy thing for them last time. It came down to, it was a 3v1. Leon got the final kill, 3 of Fnatic left alive. Tough round for Team Secret here on Cash and CCTV last time.
10 seconds remaining.
Cash and CC, all right. Last time around, it was about that survival game that came on through. It didn't really come to be a thing because they were so focused on the wall itself with the bandit trick in and so on and so forth. Maybe here will be more of the same sort of story, but no Capital being brought along. Tim Adrian's still back across on that hard support position here. And the wall tour open will be the key one for them. No bandit to deny things away, so a little bit of a change up for both teams overall. But I imagine we're still going to see a very similar strategy. Some challenge inside, or on catwalk, sorry, inside a garage. The main wall going to be a focus. Wonder if there'll be a backstab later into the round.
Bomb located by attackers.
We're getting that breach open nice and early, inside of 30 seconds, so that's good stuff. Just need to think about Garage Catwalk now. Last time around it was a little bit difficult to deal with. They don't have the dock to go up against this time. By contrast, they haven't brought the Kappa Tower along this time. So just looking through the utility on the attacking side that's going to allow them to deal with that catwalk should they choose to. And there's not much there really. They're going to be playing in behind flashes at an absolute push. No nades, you know, nothing else really to deal with that. So that would suggest to me strongly that we're going to see a lot of pressure coming through to construction.
So you'd assume. But nice about snipping out Deepak, who's sat up here, as you saw on the Wamai, dug himself in. It was the, like you mentioned earlier on, we saw a Doc and a Wamai combo being attempted previously. The Wamai always very, very popular to sit on catwalk for dropping those magnets up in towards the rafters to catch any of those firebolts that would come flying in from a would-be Kappa Tower if they were on side. Otherwise, it's more looking in towards the attackers having to burn things out with flashes first and then get the Kappa Tower in successfully. So really, it's much more of a classic setup, if you would say, for Catwalk. Jigsaw's going to fall down, though. First one picked off is the Fenrir, unsurprisingly, normally one of the go-to roamers here, but Miracle found in response, and I tell you what, Tyrant really dug himself in deep, but Leon is off and flying once again, Tim.
Yeah, exactly. The push coming in from the opposite side, as I suggested, but it just doesn't matter to Fnatic, and more specifically to Leon. It's all the same. He can't believe it himself. Another 3 in the round. Leon is having a game like I haven't seen him play like this in a while, Des. Don't get me wrong, he's been playing pretty well, but this is like serious stuff coming in from Leon at the minute. He can't miss right now.
Good. Is what you want to see coming out of him is really feeling himself today. But the one thing I always come back to, because we were talking before the show about, you know, what are the main things to talk about for these teams, and Fnatic, the question that kept coming up was consistency, right? Like, I'm happy they're playing as well as they are. Like, a bit gutted for Secret because they've also had a really good stage so far. You want to see them keep on pushing on and challenging for that top spot next to BDS, for example. But the one thing that I worry about is going into future weeks, will we see this level of play continue? And I sound like such a negative Nancy saying that, like, having a good mode, Leon's at 10-2. Why isn't it 13-2? Sorry, why isn't it continuing to future weeks? It's more a challenge that I want to see that carry on. And that change in play styles today, being a bit more reserved in most of these rounds, really is setting them up for success. A 4-2 half is great. Now we get to see what they're really made of on the attacking side, and this is when we need to see a very different Fnatic.
Yeah, 100%. This is make or break now. This is the real test that is going to come through. It is going to start off with a Church and Arsenal defense, as we would pretty much expect. But there is going to be a strong top floor presence coming out of Secret there. We see a number of operators up on the top floor inside a garage. They're going to give Fnatic a lot of work to do here. Fnatic need to make sure that they're not falling behind the clock. They don't want to be pushing onto site with 15-20 seconds left. It was something that they were able to create and benefit from, and that's not going to help Matt as Savage manages to pick up the opener onto Tyrant.
Oh, is the KB going down so early?
Loss. Big loss.
The thing is, if those kind of players are great, if the whole team is aligned and you're all... And again, Fresh spoke about this. It's almost like we're all watching the same sort of games, Tim. But they spoke about the kind of broken communication that you saw coming out of the team at different points. It feels like we're seeing more of the same here, where you've got Jigsaw trying to do his thing by himself. He can't push in and take 1v2s because the KB is dead, so there is no support on the intel game. And everyone's kind of moving at different paces. Like, you know, you saw Tyrant trying to work his way in towards blue, whilst we still have Bathroom being pushed through there by the Iana. So already, you've seen 2 players picked off completely in isolation, away from the rest of the team, and you still got players like June looking to cause chaos around the map.
Yeah, he's going to drop high up it now, and like you said, the frustration there for Fnatic is they kind of, you know, they did the right thing. They go in, they get the kill onto Adrian, and then Jigsaw dips away into Bathroom, and he has the opportunity to just leave there, consolidate. You're back to 4v4. Join up with your team. Where are we going? What's the push? Where do we need to clear? Instead, just a little weak re-peek onto main stairs that gives him away, really. Deepak does manage to pick up Miracle, though, so that's something. If he can get another one here out of dirt, that really does start firing Fnatic forward. 3 versus 3. Leon is just doing Leon things. He's inside a sight. He sees the man through the window. Can he find another? He knows that they're there to be found. 2v2 right now.
Really on the hunt here with 60 seconds to play. That's so much time, and Leon is just different gravy today, Tim. A 2K for himself in the round. Deepak on the overcover as well. Where is Savage? He's inside the main hall. Is it closing out for a Leon 3? It may well be. No, it's Deepak finding him off the back of the corner. And I tell you what, given how messy that round started, they have really pulled one out the bag there. A great kitchen and dirt execute to pull off the plant and really get themselves over the finish line. But again, it's Leon's name that we are singing. 15-2. Unbelievable stuff inside 7 rounds.
Yeah, really big moments coming out of Leon just to, push Fnatic to that round and to many others as well. We've got to remember, if somebody's going to have as many kills as Leon does right now, everybody else on the team isn't going to have that many because there's not very many to go around at that point. So that's not a criticism I'm making, but Fnatic do need to be careful because, yes, Leon is absolutely red hot at the minute, but if he starts to cool off a little bit, somebody else is going to have those moments because, that was a round bought on the fact that he just dropped kitchen hatch, I think it was, got himself straight into sight, got a couple of kills and really powered them on in. So, they can't necessarily rely on that every round, but I tell you what, long may it continue while it does.
Attackers are activating.
And he got the plant as well.
Yeah, just any kind of stat you can give to him at this point, just throw it over towards him. Why
5
not?
seconds left before
Again,
I've got to say, Des, you'll be aware, we do, there's a little fantasy, EU fantasy league with Jesse.
You're about to tell me you've got Leon, right?
Traded him in today, didn't I?
Oh, did you really?
Big moves, big moves.
What was the rationale behind that? I've got to know.
Well, I had Skies from Ents, who did really well last week, but obviously it's their bye play day today. So I thought, really, I could do with trading. I kind of wanted to keep Skies because I think he's going to have a few more good games, but I thought I need the points, really. I'm in 3rd place out of 5. I'm mid-table. I've got to catch up here. So I can't have players sort of on the bench. And I said it to you, Des, before we came on, and I said it. I genuinely felt like Fnatic were going to have a big performance today. And Leon has been one of the top-rated players for them. So I thought, why not? He was open. I brought him in, and he's paying dividends at this point.
Ain't he just, Tim? Ain't he just?
I'm going to be chasing Jesse down at the top of the table.
Straight, mate, just message him now and be like, oi, points, relation. I know we've been play day. Give it me now. Come on, come on. I want to see what you jump up to after this kind of performance. Absolutely mega. Again, I always hate being the negative Nancy. If Leon wasn't playing this well, what happens? Because we saw those 2 early entry kills going against Fnatic. Yes, he's playing ridiculously well and really dragging them through some tough rounds, but I want to see that consistency build here in the early round for the other players as well. So on the entry, can they come together to punish players like Savage who are out on the roam? He's fell back to site here halfway into the round. His job is done. He's done a great bit of roaming play there. And now it's about, now they're all back on site. What do Fnatic do? How do they get themselves set up here? How hard do they hit site and how long does it take to get ready for that?
Drones are raining in at the minute. Like you say, time could be the factor. 1 minute 20. We haven't yet seen breaches opened up that they will want open. And it's going to be Jacuzzi Wall that goes now. And Miracle's going to be playing in behind that mirror, which is bandited as well. So going to be a little bit tricky for them to deal with that potentially. They do have the Twitch drone on side, so maybe a number of avenues that could be dealt with. If they can get one of those shock drones in, take the batteries off, or just take the mirror straight down, whichever it is. Deepak manages to find one onto Grube, so that's going to open the account for Fnatic, and I'm a little bit worried, Des, that Team Secret could just be on the serious back foot here. They're being beaten up at the minute.
Right sort of idea, but not quite the outcome they were looking for. Deepak's even found 2 out on breach. Like, it's getting a bit rough here. Look, Secret is still going for it. Right idea with the C4. Deepak, unless you can shoot it, you are toast, my friend. Down he goes. A Miracle and Adrian with it all to do here. Adrian finds one for himself, but he's over-peaking. Secret maybe feeling themselves a little bit too much at points in this game, Tim, because Fnatic, even without Leon, they're hitting their shots.
Yeah, then this is what I said, wasn't it, coming in? If Leon has rounds where he can't necessarily carry the team through, where he can't get those kills, then they need to step up and do it anyway, and Fnatic have. And I think that goes to show what I was talking about. Yes, they might not be the most kills everywhere else, but it's because Leon's grabbed them all. But it's not to say they're not playing well as a team. They are creating those situations, and Leon just kind of happens to be, he's hitting his shots, don't get me wrong, he's hit some beauties, but he's right place, right time, right mentality, right aggression, and has been getting those kills. But even without him, Fnatic doing a good job there, making it very, very difficult for Team Secret inside a site. Adrian and Miracle, they dug their heels in, they did a good job, they had a good effort, they got it back to a point where it was kind of winnable for them. But Fnatic, I just feel like they've found a different gear today, Des. They've found a different gear, and Secret are trailing behind. They're in the rear view mirror at this point, and the best they can hope for now is overtime.
Something really weird about casting Leon absolutely slamming Secret as well, because obviously it was a team that he was on for God, what, 2-3 years?
Yep.
I want to say it was 2 years he was on it for. Yeah, because those don't know, back on Team Secret, then he was Rogue, then Koi, then back to Rogue again for a short time, and now, of course, Fnatic, as we see them here in the European League. And just talking about him deleting Secret, it just hurts a little bit, right? It hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the receiving end of Leon and his entry game.
Really, mate?
I have.
When you're a pro player, yeah.
Not well, no. It was Rampy droning Leon in against me, and let me tell you, it's one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever had in Siege. Believe me, there is not much getting away from him. We actually played his rank stack as well the other night, and once again he proved his quality. Let's say that. Very difficult to play against.
Also complimentary, proved his quality or your...
No, his quality, his quality. I think
he'd be nice about saying that you were crap, mate.
I know.
Okay.
It was definitely his quality, not my lack of ability. Here we go.
Press then. Go on, all yours, mate. You take it.
Why not? 6-2. It is for Fnatic. They are absolutely flying through Team Secret at the minute. We've come from one sort of speed run on Clubhouse with a 7-2 result already. ITB over Wild, and we're coming potentially into another one here as Team Secret really struggling to hold on. They've not been able to get a defense yet. They've tried basement, they've tried gym and bedroom. It just hasn't happened for them. They're going to give what could potentially be a last throw of the dice here onto Cash and CCTV. Now, I like this position from Jigsaw, just holding that angle all the way through Lounge. How often do we see defenders rotating through Lounge into lower garage and trying to pressure anybody looking to clear catwalk? And they're going to have absolutely none of that.
Tell you what, they are going Roma hunting, Tim. Jesus. Yeah. Jigsaw's full centered down main stairs. They've got the right sort of idea. They know that it's inside of blue, but can they catch their man? No, not quite just yet. He's dug himself in towards oil here. Surely the swing comes on through, but Tyrant's found him first. I love that. When teams pull together and find these individual players and crush them in rapid time, it is so satisfying to watch. Doom and Adrian offline, 5v3, Fnatic in the driving seat to close and win 7-2.
Yeah, it really does look like that is likely to be the case now, but don't count this Secret team out just yet. Savage manages to pick Deepak up. Not the easiest kill to get in Siege. Finding the man on Rappel with a beautiful headshot. Does take a little bit of damage there. No! Closed out by Jigsaw from the breach. 4 versus 2 now. Miracle looking to get something going. It's not going to happen, Miracle. You can't just wander up to the breach like that. You're going to get taken down. It's all up to Grubby. He's on the dock. He's looking for his man. Just gets one as he sprints across, but can't find the kill. Tyrant closes it out, and Fnatic does. They have a big resurgence here with an important win against Secret, and they keep themselves in the fight in EUL.
A massive result for them, and nearly the last couple of rounds, it wasn't even the Leon show. The rest of the boys stood up and made themselves heard as well. And I mentioned it in that last round, that ability to identify isolated players and crush them before they can get back towards site is absolutely beautiful. But there will be questions of Team Secret there. There was a lot of overconfidence. There was over-peaking, over-swinging. Not even just in that last round. I'm not really sure what Miracle was looking for on the breach step out, but they paid the price for it. Fnatic fully deserved that win.
They did. You know, we can't not talk about Leon there. He's absolutely run away with the game. He could have been on for a 20 bomb if it had carried on, but he just didn't have enough time, I don't think, to close it out. Fantastic performance all round, though, even when he was taken out early. Fnatic getting the job done. Great stuff from them, and I'm sure Fnatic fans will be looking on very, very happy with that performance.
I think we'll all be looking forward to seeing how their next few games go as well, to see if they can keep up that consistency like we mentioned earlier on. But for now, it's all celebration for the boys in orange. Let's go over to the desk and get their thoughts on this game.
A 7-2 for Fnatic, a very convincing scoreline, so convincing that Fresh decided to change his shirt.
It was so never in doubt. I never for 1 second doubted this Fnatic team, apart from when I criticised them in the pregame, but we don't talk about that, Fabian.
I mean, it is a Jojo team. That's what we've seen so far. I want to see more strung after one another in terms of good performances, because it's up and down, up and down. Look at that last round. They're roam chasing a guy in Clubhouse basement. You don't do that very often. But then when we saw them play Consulate, they don't even roam clear at all. It made no sense to me. They played really, really good today, though, and I want to highlight that they've made very, very few mistakes that we used to see.
Yeah, I think that's the one big thing is, you know, for the longest time, but even inside of this league, we've seen a team that can take the bull by the horns, that can win a game, that can be strategically good and make the right plays in some rounds.
Yeah.
And then we've seen the team that just gives it away in other rounds. And I think Fnatic, this is probably their second complete performance after the ITB game, because obviously they won that quite convincingly as well. And this is what we want to see. This is the Fnatic that gives their fans, that gives their supporters so much hope that this team can break into the upper echelon in this league.
In case you were here and watched our pre-show earlier today, you may have seen that Fabian put Fnatic on the very last spot of his power ranking. Would you change that now?
Yes and no at the same time, because I still think that they're a yo-yo team. Like, I can't rate a yo-yo team high because I haven't seen them string up good performances one after another. And I want to see that before I put them higher.
What do they need to do?
They need to play like they did today for the rest of the stage, and I'll be more than happy to move them up way higher. But if they don't play like they did today, and they go back tomorrow to the same old one, well, then they're gonna stay down there.
We're going to see the standings again after, of course, the scoreboard that we're seeing currently. We're seeing all the players, of course, on the side of Fnatic really getting active into that game. Really exciting to see that, not being very much top-heavy or one player really carrying the boat here. But when we're looking at the standings, and they're really going to be important on these final few playdays, we have seen Fnatic coming in on number 7 on this playday, now showing their way up to top 4. That's great.
Yeah, it's put themselves right in contention in terms of breaching that top 4. It does mean ITB are not confirmed until, later on, probably tomorrow. And Secret are now back in the mix after being, miles and away. They were, remember, they were on 9 points after 3 games. They're now on 10
and
after
they look
6.
really good after those 3 games. So it goes to show how close this league is. I mean, it's jumping positions and jumping down depending on one game, and everybody's still so close to each other. It's incredible.
It's really exciting to see now. Of course, it has a good perspective for our next few games, but still talking about this one player that we particularly really saw pop off was Leon.
Yeah, people love to hate on Leon. He's had a mad game today. I think he's had a great day. And what Leon gives you, and I've said it a couple of times actually, is Leon is an entry that's masquerading as a support player, which means he's always going to take gunfights. He's always going to have that aggression within him. However, when it comes off, Leon can open up a round, and today was one of those days where it came off for him. Nearly everything worked, apart from obviously that 1v3. He was hitting some of the shots, but he is so important for this Fnatic team because obviously he's not just, an entry player masquerading as a support. He's not just an aggressive player, he's also the IGL. So when he's doing well, the whole Fnatic team is doing well. And he had his haters as well. He had his haters, probably at the start of the stage, maybe even me, maybe even Fabian, calling him out for the entry deaths, certainly on socials. And I think today he's proved a lot of people wrong.
I think we can pretty much consider him the MVP maybe of this game, definitely showing up there. But we also have him on the line to ask him a few questions about that game. So, good evening, Leon. First off, you had an amazing performance today. What on earth did you have for breakfast?
What did I have? I had a Greg's, actually. Big up. So, yeah, maybe that's the difference from today.
With Greg's in the belly, the prep in your brain, however, this map, Clubhouse, was that something you guys wanted to take them on today?
Yeah, we wanted to play Night or Sky today, and it was literally those last 2 maps on the Batman phase, so it worked out perfectly for us either way.
Yeah, so you guys got exactly what you wanted. There was one more thing I have to ask you, Leon. Why have you guys been a yo-yo team this season? Why are we seeing some mind-blowing performances in terms of they are great? Like today, you guys made almost no mistakes. And in other days, we see a performance that, it's not really good enough at this level, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think coming into the start of the season, we had some really good practice. Everyone was level-headed, just keeping it real and stuff. And then I'd say the last 2 weeks, not from other teams, but ourselves have been quite poor in the way we've been practicing and been approaching the game. Just, not really being as not professional, but not having a good mindset when coming into these, not caring as much. And that showed last week against Wild, where we didn't go in wanting to win or playing to win. We played to not lose, and we were scared. And that showed, obviously, like you said, seeing those poor performances coming from us. So after that game, we had a massive talk to each other, setting all the standards that we need to have for the season. Why we originally started this team and how we approached it. We need to be back into those the next step of the team after getting through the first phase. Now we're in the second phase of growing.
That's really exciting. I mean, of course, we know that the core of this roster really was depending on those vibes. And of course, all having the same kind of motivation what we're thinking years ago with this roster. But you're now currently in step 2. You're saying, what can we expect for the future of Fnatic in this stage? Because you're currently 4th.
Yeah, I think, like Fabian was talking about, I think you're just going to see some more consistency from us from now on. We're going to be just, really screwed on with our heads, making sure we're just playing to win all the time, no matter where we are in officials, practice, all that stuff outside of game, in-game. And just making sure that we're bringing each other up as a team, because at the end of the day, we're not going to win without each other. It doesn't rely just on the back of one person. We need everyone to be the best they can be. And if we're not all in the same mindset and in the same playing field, then we're not going to be able to win these games.
One more question I have is, I'm not sure if you caught our pre-show. We did a power ranking where we predict our teams and we put the teams currently. If you saw Fabian's, he put you at the very bottom. You have anything to say about that?
I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, I don't blame him for putting us low. Like, we lost to Wild, like, you know, like, no offense to them, but you know what I mean? We shouldn't be losing these games where we're so, like you said, so yo-yo. We're beating some teams, losing to others. We should be consistently beating these these teams in the league. So, yeah, I'm just gonna let them sit there, let the haters talk as well, and wherever they are on social media, and we're just gonna keep trying to do our best and bring them back, you know, the good old wins.
I'm gonna troll you on all my Smurf Reddit accounts. Don't worry.
Yeah, I've already read about 4 posts you put up. So.
It's a great mindset, though. Really good to see that, of course. Congratulations with the win, and I'm sure we'll speak to you again.
Yeah, thank you very much for the interview. That was just a difference today from me. You know, these guys are literally losing to a dad. I've got to go change a nappy after this, so you know. Yeah, great.
Awesome. It's a dead buff, I guess, coming in for this game then for Leon specifically, but really exciting, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he and I are both dads. I'll have to change Jack's nappy later. So it's we're basically at the same level.
All right, of course, we'll give you some time to do that, though, in the break, of course, we got coming up. But after the break, we have a really exciting game. We've got BDS versus Virtus Pro. Don't go anywhere.